Habbo Hotel Origins has released 4 bear rugs today for one day only. That is the pink, the green, the orange and the grey bear rug. These rugs command a 2.5 times increase on the standard bear rug, so it's 10 credits for these, but if we go to the rugs and find the white bear rug, this one costs 4 credits, so you have to pay a 2.5 times premium. This is quite expensive because these rares are not guaranteed to stay off the catalogue forever. If people vote for these rares to come back, then they will come back. So it's entirely down to the community on whether these rares will stay in the catalogue or leave forever. So what do we do in these times of uncertainty? We get out mum's credit card and we buy. So we have the rugs. Now what do? We have to wait and see what happens. There are going to be some variables that decide the future value of these rugs, the most pressing of them being whether or not they come back to the catalogue. For this video's discussion, we're going to assume that they're not coming back. However, this may not be the case. If they do come back, then assume that these will be worth no more than the price you paid for them. That is a very possible scenario, but for today's video, we're going to be talking about if they don't come back. Also subscribe because in the future I'll be talking about whether or not they will come back. So let's talk about several discussion points on what may determine the future price. First of all, the Funky Friday from last week, the pods and the chairs do seem to be rising quite quickly, the pods in particular. It's only been 1 week since these left the catalogue, and I've heard reports of these pods selling for half of a cola each already. People really want these pod chairs, and I'm surprised by how quick the price has risen, especially since they might come back to the catalogue. People are already gambling in trying to acquire these. And thank you very much, Agent Dark. He likes my idea on making a room. This room is gonna hopefully be a museum. Like, I've got this sticky here on information about the cola machine. Nice. And I've got day 1 trophies and so on. So yeah, looking at the previous Funky Friday promotion, it does seem like we can turn these into rares if they don't come back to the catalogue. I must say, however, these chairs have a very good function. Pods, Plasto pods are very popular anyway, so if there's a rare variant in the game, it's easy to see why these will be considered very valuable. So, which one should you buy? And will they become more valuable? Firstly, if they don't come back to the catalogue, they will become more valuable. I think that's a given. How much buy is up for debate. It might double in its effective value. So instead of being worth 10 credits, it might be worth 20 or 25. Will it go up to big numbers like several cola machines or 1 HC? I find it hard to believe. And if this does happen, then I suspect it will be one specific colour. I can't see all of the hype being shared between all 4 colours equally. I think people will determine which one is the best colour, and that will be the main one that is traded. So if you're looking to invest in these, I would be careful in buying the correct one. Which is the correct one? I don't know, but I'll give you my opinion anyway. I think it's going to be this one, the grey one. It's either between the grey one or the teal green, toothpaste green one. I don't think the orange one looks that good, and I don't really vibe with this one, but that's just me. I could be wrong, remember, don't take what I say as reality, it's just what's going off in my brain. Take a look at the normal one, okay? To me, I think that the grey one is very cool because it's basically the normal one that's greyed out a bit. It's like you've just turned down the opacity slightly or something, and it's just looking a bit muted. I like that. I personally really like that. And will everybody else agree with me? I don't know. And it also depends on how many get sold. Let's say that nobody really likes the orange one that much, and I don't know, maybe people take this advice from this video and spam buy loads of these. Well, what's going to happen is people realise this isn't that rare. There's a massive abundance of them. So then suddenly the one that's less popular initially people suddenly realised not many got sold, and then boom, this is the one that everyone wants. Okay, so let's get to the point. Once a certain rug gets determined to be the rare one that everybody wants, I think it's going to be very hard to change people's opinions on the best one, and this particular rug will end up being the rare one that's worth the most, maybe even 2-3 times more than the others. I personally think it's going to be the grey one. Maybe the blue one, just because it's so striking. So you've got the grey one, that's basically the white one, but just a bit more muted. And then you've got the toothpaste green. I think these three look great. The only scenario I can see the orange and the red becoming the most popular one is if people buy a lot less of them, and that will make it backfire. Uno reverse card, where because they're a lot rarer than the other ones, then they can ironically become the most valuable by being the worst. I know that sounds funny, but it's just all about numbers sold. It takes big precedence after how cool they look. So here it is, my final opinion. I think that the grey one is probably going to be the most popular one. However, it may also be the most sold one, which could impact its future price. I'm going to invest in the grey one though, if I decide to. I think the green one is the most visually interesting one, so that has a chance of becoming the most popular one, if not the grey one. The orange one might be the least popular in my opinion, but this could give it the Uno reverse card scenario where it's the rarest one, therefore the most valuable if people decide that it is the coolest one, the most valuable one. And finally, the red one is very similar to the candy polar rug. It's very, very similar to the point where if they're not put down together, people might not realise that it's just a standard rug. So I would probably steer clear of the red polar rug for that reason. So my order is grey, followed by green, followed by orange because people might not buy too much of the orange, followed by red. Red might have been worth more, but the fact it looks so close to the candy rug, I would probably stay away from buying this one. So yeah, closing words, I really need to work on making my videos more succinct because I spent 8 hours yapping on and I could have just said, buy the grey one, it's just my opinion, might not be right, but we'll see how it turns out. Check out Agent Dark's giant Z shelf here, that deserves a commendment right here. Woo! All the Habbo guys are checking it out. Very nice. Please subscribe to all things Habbo Origins. I shall see you guys later.